Yeah, what's next week, Kelly? I don't.
Spotlight's on me.
Yeah, I don't know either. Taylor probably
I
knows.
know acne's in there. I think acne's next week.
Okay.
So I think we have acne and compassion next week, I believe. So
Oh,
that's
good. Compassion and acne. Good. Two great
not
categories.
compromised,
Oh,
compromised,
compromised. Okay.
compromised.
Let's see. Delisa, I see. Who else just joined us? Oh, Julio. Hi,
Oh,
Julio.
how are you?
Good to see you.
You too.
And I'm going to give it 1 or 2 more minutes here, and then we'll get started.
Two more people coming in. Julie on her iPhone and Valeska.
Yeah, Waleska. Yeah, I think Waleska is joining us from Puerto Rico.
Oh, hola.
Mi
We have a
isla.
few Puerto Rico players this year. Hi, Waleska.
Yes.
I see you commenting down there. Yeah, we went to Estetica y Spa Expo in Puerto Rico this year, and quite a few. That was a successful event. I hope we go back next year.
Thank you. How are you guys?
Doing
Oh,
well.
we're good.
Good. No,
Staying warm.
I became a finalist at the Skin Boss there, which is why I decided to participate in the Skin Games.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
I saw a lot of great footage from Taylor. She said Taylor said it was great, and there was a lot of really good footage from that event. It looked like fun.
Yeah, it totally was.
What
Good.
categories did you enter?
So I initially was just gonna do the holistic category, and then I got really excited and I decided to do age management, acne scarring, and open hair restoration.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, so 4 instead of 1, which is I'm actually just turning in everything now, so it's been wonderful.
Nice.
All right, everybody. I want to stay on time because that's how I roll, and it is 7 o'clock. So we will allow people to come in as they arrive. But I'm going to get us started tonight. This is a really great opportunity that we're doing this year for players and sponsors to come together and talk about all of the questions we have and sort of topics that relate to each category at the Skin Games. And you guys all know me. I'm Steven. I'm one of the directors of the event. It is really cool that we get to do these sorts of things because we get questions every day, literally from players and fans about how does this work? What can I expect? What do I do? And so I know last week you guys had an excellent one that sort of kicked it off. What was your first one on last week? Compassion and facial massage last week. And tonight we're going to be talking about PMU and brow lamination and lash lift categories. So PMU encompasses 3 categories this year: areola, lips, and brows, and then lash lift and brow lamination are separate categories on their own. And each one of these segments will begin with prepared questions that we had from our judges, and then we will go into a Q&A where those of you watching that are players in these categories can feel free to pop your questions down into the chat as we're talking so that our judges can take those questions live. I know right now we have Shara, who is overseeing the entire PMU category, so you're in good hands. Shara knows what she's doing. She's been with us now for a couple of years at the Skin Games, and she is the one in control, really, of running these categories this year for PMU. So you're in good hands with Shara, and we want to get started here. We do have other PMU judges who hopefully will be here. If not, we are taking their questions, and they did supply questions to us in advance. So we have questions from Lena, Liana Resnick, and Shay Daniel as well. So we have 4 judges being represented here tonight. But first, I'm going to jump in with Shara because she's here, and have Shara tell us about herself, her background in PMU, and a little bit about her journey in the skincare industry.
Hi guys, can you hear me first of all?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, I am Shara Juarez. I'm super honored to be a part of the Skin Games. It was so much fun last year. I have been a PMU / paramedical tattoo artist now for 23 years. My company now specializes in areolas. We've done over 23,000 areola tattoos. And so a huge thank you to Stephen for including areola in this competition, because we usually get left out of all the good stuff. So I'm super excited that areola is a part of that. And I see some familiar faces on here. So hello to everyone. I'm so excited. Yes, my buddy's home. Excited to have you all up here. But yeah, so that's who I am. That's what I've been doing.
What inspired you to specialize in PMU areola, Shara?
Well, I was looking for something that I could set my own hours and still be a hands-on mom, volunteer in classrooms, that type thing. And so I really didn't feel called to any. I had looked into real estate and all the different things where you can set your own hours. And it wasn't until I decided I wanted to have my eyeliner tattooed and I started doing some research into that I saw they were starting their first state accredited paramedical class. And so here I am 23 years later. At that point in my life, I didn't have any family that had been diagnosed with cancer. Within 5 years of my completing this program, my grandmother and my aunt were both diagnosed with breast cancer. So it's kind of odd how God works in mysterious ways. So.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about the PMU areola category is specifically what you're talking about right now. It changes so many people's lives that are sick with cancer or going through things in their life that maybe has to do with their identity or whatever it is, that really it is truly a life-changing it's a life-changing service. And I see incredible results from Shara, like on Instagram all the time. It was a go-to when we decided we want to add this category to the skin games. We went straight to Shara, and she's helped get players for the last couple of years, and it's gained in popularity, and we see more and more interested in it. So we thank you for your expertise and leadership, Shara. And I see Liana is here. Hi, Liana.
Hey.
We are introducing our judges this year for the Skin Games. PMU. Liana is a former winner of an award last year at the Skin Games. She has sponsored the Skin Games as well. She's from Analyze MP, and she goes by Fancy Schmancy. I love her name. This is the lovely Liana Resnick. Liana, we're just going into our backgrounds right now. If you wouldn't mind letting the players and the other judges who are watching right now know a little bit about who you are and your background in the industry, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. So I'm located in Illinois, in Highland Park, like 30 minutes from downtown Chicago. Originally, I came from Israel, and I started as a medical esthetician. And then I knew that I always wanted to do something to change people's life. So I went to medical pigmentation, medical tattoo. And back then it was not that easy to become one of those artists, as I needed to have at least 4.5 years internship and to work as a medical esthetician with doctors before I even was touching people's skin with any type of color. And that's it. And I came here to USA 13 years later. I'm a mom of 3. I have 3 amazing kids. I have a baby, 15 months old, Benjamin, that I'm very busy right now with him.
Yes.
I have my own clinic, Fancy Schmancy, already for the past 10 years. And in March of 2024, I opened a new company with my amazing friend Isabella, and it's Analyze Medical Pigmentation, where we're actually providing education to an esthetician or PMU artist or anyone that actually wants to join to our community and to provide those procedures as well, and to change people's life.
Wonderful. And what inspired you, Liana, to get involved? Like, other than like trying to change, wanting to change people's lives, what inspired you to become a PMU artist?
Well, it's from experience back in the days. Unfortunately, I was dealing with very emotional and mental breakdowns of something that I've been through, unfortunately, when I was young.
Okay.
And it just pushed me because back then in the days, I didn't have any support. So I was trying to deal with what I was going through. And today there is so much support to people, but back then a lot of people were trying to hurt themselves. So there's a lot of self-harm scars.
$7.99.
So this is one of the reasons why I actually decided to go to that and to help people, because back then I didn't have this type of help. So by me camouflaging people and helping them with their scars or just after surgery, or 3D areola for breast cancer survivors that it's also have a personal experience with this. So basically I have personal stories that I've been through, that those are the reasons why I decided to go to that.
Yeah, good. Thank you for sharing that with us. And
Yeah.
I appreciate you joining us. And I see that we have, oh, it says, by the way, Julio is in Chicago. He says, hi, Liana, we're neighbors. So I'm sure you guys are
Oh, hi.
one another. And now we have Shay Daniel joining us as well, another judge. I'm glad you made it, Shay. Thank you for joining us. You're muted now. If you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself, or we can unmute you. And if you can come on video, that'd be great as well. If you were unable to, understood. But we are trying to get apply names to faces and let everybody see who you are. But Shay is a extremely popular and talented PMU artist, and she has joined us on our PMU panel of judges this year. Extremely excited to have her and her expertise. Shay, if you can hear us, I'm going to unmute you. Can you unmute her? We're going to unmute you, Shay, if we're going to ask to, and then have you introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are and a little bit about your background in PMU.
Can you guys see me?
I can't see. I see your picture. I don't see you live.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I'm really trying hard here. I don't know why it's not working, but hello, everyone.
Hi, Shay.
Hi, I'm so sorry you guys can't see me.
It's
Hold
okay.
on. Okay, anyways, we'll just chat
Yeah,
for now.
no problem.
Yeah, so I am an artist. I'm an educator. I have been in this industry for, I think, 15 years now. And I am so excited to be a part of Skin Games and be a judge for the areola competition. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm really excited for the PMU industry to be more comfortable with competitions. It's something we're not super used to. So yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's something we've been, this is our third year doing PMU, and it's been a trial. You know, it's something we had to learn more about. As we've specialized in skin. We've tried to get some really experienced people like yourself, and you make this more. We've had a lot of estheticians be interested too. There's a lot of cross interest in with estheticians and PMU artists. So we're hoping to sort of ride that wave, and we're glad you've joined us. We appreciate your support. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Shara and Liana. Shay, is what sort of inspired you to get into the PMU industry?
Oh, that is a great question. Well, I've since I was a child, I remember, loving beauty in general. Like my first experience with eyebrows was when I was about 6 years old, and I went into my mom's makeup kit and I took clear nail polish, and I thought it would look nice if I painted it on my best friend's eyebrows. And we still laugh about that to this day. Because of course it dried and hardened, and then we showed my mom and she had to scrub the crap out of her face. It was a mess. But anyways, I knew from a young age that this is something that I loved. It was always a part of me, and art. I love painting and sketching. And so putting the two together and creating a career out of it was not something that I had planned. I don't think any of us that got into this industry necessarily had our minds made up that yes, we want to be permanent makeup artists when we grow up. I think we've all kind of fallen into this industry, and I think a lot of us are similar in the sense that our minds don't really rest. We're constantly moving and constantly grooving and building on what's the next big thing, and how can I challenge myself and keep things exciting. So for me, it's an industry that I pinch myself that I get to be a part of every day.
Yeah.
Making people feel good and confident and put smiles on their faces. There's so many jobs out there and careers out there where you aren't always making people happy, and I feel like we are very lucky to be able to do that and to get paid for it. So it's a win-win.
Yes. What a cool benefit of this industry in general, from aesthetics all the way to PMU and all that, is you get to deal with people, change their lives for the better, and maximize confidence, and get to know people on an intimate level. I'm not an esthetician, obviously, but my wife is, and
Yeah.
and I talk to you guys every day, so I hear all the great stories about how intimate you guys get in terms of conversation with your clients, and what a cool line of work to be in. You reminded me of a story when you talked about the painting of the eyebrows. When I was a kid, I'd cut my my sister's Barbie's hair, and then one time I tried it out on my sister, and then I knew mom would be upset, so I literally tried to tape her hair back in with clear tape, and that didn't work out very well. I got in a lot of trouble because my sister had long, beautiful blonde hair, and I taped it back in, and it did not work.
Oh my gosh.
It
So
just
good.
made me remember something I hadn't thought about in a long time. We have now some questions that you guys have prepared, you ladies have prepared for us that are relating to PMU this year and the category and just the art in general. And we're going to go to Shara's questions, Shara, and highlight a couple of questions for Shara first. So the first question I have for you, Shara, what are some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned through your career as a PMU professional, like specific lessons you've learned in your decades of experience?
Okay. Real quick, I can't skip over this. I can't let it go. So we just learned in this live that Stephen invented hair tape and extensions, and Shay Danielle invented brow laminate.
Yes.
Hysterical.
Oh
Well,
man.
I have to say, one thing that I have learned along the way is to pace yourself. I am a firm believer in being thankful for the highs and thankful for the low times. I used to, as a single mom, I would get really stressed out when it was a slow period, worried how I was going to pay the bills, and then whenever it was busy, and so just really learning to pace myself and see the beauty in both seasons. And to kind of balance my lifestyle when things are lower, to try and spend more time at home and focus there, and just kind of, prepare and buckle up the hatches at the house so that when it's busy, I feel like I have, a pretty good grasp on what's going on at home. So that was one thing for me. And I would say the other little nugget that I've learned all along is really that I feel like it's more important on how we make people feel with that hour or two that they're with us, or equally as important, how we make them feel as to how we are making them look. And I would say that's probably one of the best little pieces of advice that I give to my students is, we really do have to focus mainly on how we are treating people and, the time that we spend with them.
Yeah. And now here's a tougher one, and this is something I think we wish we could all do, but we can't, right? We can't go back in time. But if you could, Shara, what's one thing you could go back in time and change, or just do differently earlier in your career in PMU?
If I could go back in time and change it, I definitely would have had more faith in the paramedical side of tattooing. I jumped in first into the permanent makeup side, which I was thankful for, and it was a blessing. But I was scared to put any faith really into the paramedical side because it was so new. So I wish that had I started putting more eggs into the paramedical side, I just think I would be flabbergasted at how large that business had become and how many lives it's able to affect. So sometimes we pray for things, and as they come our way, we get nervous to take God up on those, answered prayers. But
Sure.
That was one thing. I prayed for more and more areolas, and as they came, nervous to let the PMU go because that's what was paying my bills. So I would say that's probably the one thing.
Yeah. Thank you for that insight. We will move over to Liana. Liana, your first question is, what motivated you to specialize? And we talked a little bit about this, but in your what motivated you to the area of expertise that you're in, and what continues to drive your passion? So what continues to make you want to continue to do this?
Wow. Well, when we're talking about the areola part, so every patient that I do until this day, it's like a gift for the person that I lost for this illness. Unfortunately, I couldn't give her that gift of the areola. So every person that I provide this service to, so it's like, a gift for her. With the other subject, when we're talking about camouflaging scars, and specifically for self-harm scars, I can say that every person that I provide them that service today, and of course it's free of charge from my perspective, is I am healing them, and then in the same time I'm healing myself. So I'm
I
still in the
love that.
journey.
That is very powerful, and I love that. Thank you, and thank you for being so honest and straightforward about this. I think it's very important for people to hear what drives us and to do these things and and our stories. I think our stories are what sort of cling us together and what really makes that's exactly what we're looking for. I love that. So thank you for that, and it's a wonderful inspiration. What advice, Liana, would you give to estheticians or beauty professionals looking to grow their careers or establish themselves as experts in PMU? What kind of advice would you give for maybe somebody who has never even been involved with PMU but wants to further their career?
Sorry, I was so nervous to say it. Like my heart is like pumping like crazy.
Oh.
It's not that easy to share those type of things.
Yes.
What I recommend is not to be afraid actually to try new things and not to hold yourself back. And there is a lot of students even that coming to us saying, oh my God, I was afraid even to think about this direction. I was sure that I will not be good in that, and I don't know if I can actually work on people. And I always say to them, you always need to try. Like if you will get the correct mentorship, the community is very big, the community is very good. There is so many amazing trainers, so many amazing artists in this industry. Specifically for medical esthetician, I do believe, because I came from this background, I do believe that this community should open herself to medical tattooing in general, because they have an amazing expertise by understanding the skin more than PMU. Like this is how it is because it's a different schooling. So I do always recommend to those community actually to open themselves to this type of category and just to try, because unfortunately a lot of people are afraid to go to this direction. But in the end of the day, if they will have the correct mentorship and to have the correct trust, mentoring the community, I think they will be great. It just to open themselves different windows.
Yes. Very nice. And Julio said, yes, I'm going to be a yes person this year. Try new things, new opportunities. Yes to being proactive. Thank you for being proactive in the chat too, Julio. I can't agree more. And Shay, we're on to you. Thank you, Liana. Shay, we have a couple questions for you. The first one is, what trends or advancements in the PMU industry do you find most exciting? And how do you see them shaping the future of this? This ties right into our theme this year at the Skin Games.
Yeah, I was really excited when I saw this question because, I mean, our industry is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing and growing. And I feel like we go through seasons. So I actually just did a presentation on this exact topic not too long ago, where I basically dissected the last 15 years of my permanent makeup work and what we've gone through in trends, not trends of what the clients are requesting, but what we've seen being done. And so I would say right now we're in the season of removal, which I think is really interesting. So 15 years later, for me anyways, we've tattooed so much ink into these clients' skins. They've been coming back for touch-ups. We're learning more, advancing in the industry with pigment knowledge and skin knowledge. And so I think we're going to see a trend of removal picking up quite a bit. I think a lot of clients are going to continue to have laser tattoo removal done, and we're going to start to see not necessarily blank canvases again, but lighter canvases, which is going to be a new challenge for the PMU industry. It's going to be color correcting, the remnants of the ink that's left behind after laser tattoo removal. So I'm seeing that kind of happening in my neck of the woods anyways, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the next few years are going to look like for clients,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's totally makes sense. And I never thought, like, it's funny that you say, so 15 years of them like getting treatment and now they're trying to remove.
Yeah, well, it's the reality of the industry that we're in. We learned a lot as we go, and I think that a lot of us, and I mean, I correct a lot of other people's work as well. Clients are coming in, they've had their brows done, elsewhere. And so we can only do so much. You can only add so much ink to the skin.
Right.
Before it's like a cup of coffee, I say that cup is full and we can't keep pouring more coffee in, or we can't expect to change the outcome, make them look browner or warmer, you know, when the cup is full of ink. So at that point, we need removal. And so, yeah, it is, I find it all very fascinating, but I do see that shifting a lot in the future. Mm-hmm.
And your next question, I really like this one as well. How has social media influenced the way you approach your profession or interact with clients? You're really good on Instagram. I've taken a long look at your profile, your platform, and you're good at this. So I'm interested to hear your feedback on social media and how it's affected your approach in this profession and how you interact with clients.
Thank you. So, social media is a double-edged sword. You know, I love it and I hate it at times. It's good, it's bad. It's a lot of work. It is a full-time gig. So it doesn't matter anymore how great of an artist you are. You could be the best of the best, producing, you know, the most flawless work. And if you are not connecting with your audience and building trust before they meet you or before they decide to come and see you, or to buy your online course, you know, or to buy your products that you're selling, it's not going to happen. So there are so many, you know, choices out there. And we always say, you know, the industry is oversaturated. That's not necessarily true. I think that people, you know, are doing their research a little bit more and they're wanting to feel comfortable with who they're choosing as their artist or their mentor at that point, right? So I give back a lot. It's a huge passion of mine to be able to help the industry grow. From being in this industry as long as I have, I want to help kind of raise the new generation of artists and help prepare them because, you know, for those of us who started way back when, we didn't have that luxury. There wasn't a lot of help. And we sat in silence and we kind of struggled by ourselves. So we don't have to do that anymore. And new artists don't have to feel alone. Like Liana was saying, you know, there's a lot of helpful people out there, helpful artists that are willing to share tips and tricks and advice. And I'm all for it. And social media has been an incredible platform. It's put me on the map as far as me being able to focus on being my authentic self. And I'm not a flashy person. I'm not, you know, out there posting a million ads and, you know, I just am myself and I'm just there to help people and people trust me. And I think it's because if you send me a text message or a DM asking me a question, it's me on the other end and I'm going to respond, you know, I'm going to send you a voice note so that you feel like I am relatable because I am. I was in their shoes one day as well, you know, so it's been huge for me.
Yeah, I like that. The thing you ended with there, that, you know, you are those people that, you know, you were them, you know, you were in their shoes. Somebody who's asking you a question, you know, but we don't put ourselves on a pedestal. It's like, I was you once and I'm happy to help. I like that approach. One thing I'm going to piggyback on as well that you mentioned is how social media is seemingly a full-time job. And one thing we see with a lot of estheticians at the Skin Games is that they're full-time estheticians. And how could they possibly be able to monitor and create great content and have a huge social media following when they're in the treatment room and the spa all day, every day? And so if you don't mind, I just want to ask you a little bit about maybe a tidbit of advice for estheticians that are watching or companies that are watching that struggle with this, that have a full-time job managing their companies and being estheticians and also trying to create a presence on social media.
I think that we tend to overthink things a little bit. Like realistically, and I evolve, we all evolve as people, and even social media has evolved and it's changing as well. I think that if you can show up as you are, real time, real life, be authentically yourself and share that part of you, you don't have to share every personal detail of your life, but if you can let them in a little bit and, you know, showcase the good and the bad and what's going on in your life. Like, for instance, I'm in the middle of making dinner. I popped on here, you know, I don't have a filter on my face with lashes. Like, I'm here just being myself. And I think that that is more so what people are craving on social media right now as well, is just the normal, you know?
Yeah, you know what's gonna be here at this
So
Skin Games?
flashy, and it doesn't have to be so scripted and polished all the time. And if you lean into that a little bit more, it takes the pressure off of you as, you know, the full-time artist to make time to share a little bit.
Yeah, talk about being real. We have Shara driving home from sushi with her family. We got Liana playing mom, and we got you with dinner in the
I
oven.
lost
So
my son. Yeah.
we are as real as it gets here tonight. We had a
Isn't
question.
that refreshing though? That's so
Yes,
refreshing. I love it.
absolutely, absolutely. Get real. I love. Here's Kelly's question. She said, and I'll just throw this one at Shara because it's our. We have a question here. How long do you think a professional should mentor under someone before going out on their own?
As far as paramedical, mentoring is kind of a tricky word as well, because typically when you think of a mentorship, that's when you go in and you're spending a year of your life with someone who's tattooing and you start out emptying your trash. That has changed dramatically. And so now someone mentoring you has more turned into, maybe you start with an online class and then you start with their in-person class. And so it's that person continues to be there as you're already going out and doing your own thing. And so I really feel like someone in the paramedical, they need to have taken at least one online class, one in-person class before they're ready to start taking patients of their own. Now, that doesn't mean that they need to instantly stop learning. I've been in this 23 years and I'm still constantly trying to learn and evolve. And you can ask Shay, I'm always doing a new technique and sending it to her, trying to come up with a silly nickname for it or something. But we're always pushing, we're always striving for more knowledge and more education. But I would say a bare minimum before you were to touch a patient would be one online class and one in-person class.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So now we've reached a point where we have about 15 or 16 minutes left until we transition into lash lift and brow lamination tonight. I want to open up the floor now for Q&A for any of you players out there. I see a number of players. I see one question already. I'll get to that in just a second. But any of you players, potential PMU players or current PMU players, anybody interested in possibly joining the category, which you can still do, by the way, ask any question for Shay or Liana or Shara, and we will be sure that we get it answered there. We can see all of your questions coming in real time, and we'd love to answer those for those of you that are wondering about the category or anything like that. So our first question I see here is from Waleska. She said, can I ask a question at the end about, oh, yes, Waleska, yeah, we can get to that at the end for sure. Mary Sol says, I've been doing areolas for about 2 years now, and I still consider Shara my mentor. She always answers any questions I have. When's the last day to submit areolas? Sending mine tonight. Oh, Shara, are you, I think, oh, there she is. All right, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me? I said, thank you, Marisol. I love that. That means a lot to me. And I hope that a lot of my students, the whole mentor thing truly becomes a friendship and a relationship. And we're just kind of in this together. But as far as turning in your latex, please turn it in, the sooner the better. But my absolute, the latest that I think we're allowing people to submit their video is February 1st. Is that correct, Stephen?
Correct. I believe the cutoff for
as far as the
submissions is February 1st.
Okay.
And Shara, you did bring up something that we do want to make sure.
If you're not happy with that.
Go ahead, Shara.
No, I was just going to tell Marisol she's got time if she wants to record a different one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to I do want to clarify in case there is any confusion. We noticed on the website earlier, it still said you could perform this on live models. This is all being done via latex this year, right, Shara?
That's correct. That's correct.
And then let's see. I don't see another question yet, but if there are any more questions, I think we should address those. Oh, yes, I already did a live model. Okay, if they already did a live model, Shara, what should they do?
I think that they should still go ahead and record on latex, but also send in their before and after pictures of their eyebrow work, of the lip work, whatever their model is. We would love to see that as well.
Yeah, so Terry, I saw that question there. Please send that in as well, so that can be submitted to the judges. And Mary Sol, and deadline for lip. Deadline for lip is, I believe, the same thing. February 1st for all PMU categories on latex for lip, brows, and areola. Looking to add PMU this year, Allie says. I've been nervous to start, but this is very motivating. You ladies are amazing. Yeah, Allie, let's just lip blush. Oh, and then a question. Lip blush on latex?
Correct.
Any,
Then also, go ahead
she
and
says I did it on a
submit
model also.
your-
And I
Yes.
think that was a breakdown in that we
So,
had
if
that
you've already
in.
done it on a model, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe we did add that to the website a little late, that it was going to be on latex. So if you already did your work on a live model, that's completely okay. We will accept that, and you please submit that work as well. Let's see, I know a lot of, and I wanted to address that last, while we have about 12 more minutes, I wanted to address what Ali said. And because we see this a lot with estheticians at the skin games, is they're looking to add PMU to their repertoire and their skill set. Shay, do you have any advice for estheticians that are looking to break into the industry as estheticians that don't really have experience in PMU?
Well, I think it's an amazing transition. Like you're going to have so many transferable skills from the aesthetic side of things, working really closely with clients, like being right up in their face where you're good with that part. So yeah, I think like my best advice for someone that's considering this is if you're brand new to it, you've never touched a machine before, hands-on training is the way to go. Now, be prepared that your first experience is probably not going to be the most glorious, but it's going to, open the door to more possibilities of learning and, advancing your skills. I don't think there's one person in the permanent makeup industry that I've ever met that if I were to ask them, like, what was your first training like? They're not going to sing praises from the rooftop. Everybody struggled that first little bit. But the continuing education is where it's at. And there's so many opportunities, YouTube, and I've got tons of free online courses available for artists to, learn from without having to invest any money at all. And yeah, there's lots of great mentors available as well. So I would say search locally to see if there is a reputable trainer that you can get some hands-on experience, and then from there keep going. But yeah. Welcome. Come to the industry. Come to the good side. We love you here.
And we will have a PMU panel this year too. For all of you estheticians that are coming to the skin games, a number of our PMU judges will be on the PMU prominence panel, where hopefully a lot of estheticians that are interested in this crossover and possibly getting involved with PMU will attend this year. Julio, I like this one for all of you to sort of answer this one. I think it's interesting too. Are there men requesting these services? If so, how many? And what areas are they requesting? Is this a growing clientele for anyone? I'll start with Liana.
I do a lot of men, not from
Okay.
PMU. I'm talking from the paramedical perspective. I have a lot of male clients. I have people that flying in. There is a lot of requests, a lot.
Shara, what about you?
It's becoming more and more popular with men, especially we've seen a lot of gender affirming surgeries coming in, whether it be top surgeries, bottom surgeries. We even have men coming in for suddenly areola resizing is becoming a thing. So men are self-conscious to take off their shirt at the pool because their nipples are really tiny. So they're coming in and they're having us resize them a little bit larger. So it's really odd, some of the things we are seeing, but it's more and more men coming in. We have a lot of scalp coming in. So yeah, it definitely is not just females.
Shara, is there a monkey on your lap?
I was just about to say, have we acknowledged Boots, the monkey, yet? Or is he just making
I have not acknowledged it because at first I thought it was like, I didn't know what it was. And
Ugly
then
baby.
I was like, hold on, do I see a monkey?
That's ugly baby at first.
I have been fascinated since I was young with I always told, if I got an exotic animal, sorry, we're getting way off track here, but I have to say, I just have to confirm, is that a monkey?
It is a monkey. Yes. It's Boots.
Hi, Boots the monkey. That is really cool. I'm going to have to talk to you more about your pet monkey later. Yeah, bring it to the skin games. That might be. No, I don't know if this fuckhead Weston would like that very much. Shay, what about you? Do you have male clients? If so, is there a growing clientele base here? And what are their interests in terms of services?
So on the PMU side, I see a lot of male clients who have alopecia. because they just are not able to apply makeup the same way that women are. You know, there's women with alopecia and we're pretty talented with makeup. You know, we know how to fake a thing or two. Men cannot do that as easily. And so that is a big one for us. And then yes, on the paramedical side, I'd have to agree. I'm seeing a ton of scar revision, SMP requests, scalp micropigmentation. Yeah, but it's all education. They're getting more comfortable knowing that this is even available to them. You know, like that's the thing. If they knew that it was an option, I think more would have it done.
Yeah.
And a lot of men are a little bit more private with that kind of thing. So when we do get the ones that allow us to share, we're very excited to share, because then you hear the phone ringing and the flood of emails of more people and patients like him that want to come in and have this service that didn't even know it was an option before.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see here, if we do not have a live model video and following latex rules, does that change the current way we will be judged? We won't be changing the way in which you're judged. I will consult with Shara on this, guys, but be sure you know that we will, if you did the latex rules, you will be judged in the same fashion as everybody else who used latex. If you did go and use the live rules, we will apply the same rules that were applied in PMU in years past, I would assume. But I want to make sure that this is something we make sure that is clear for everybody, and that you don't think I'm at a disadvantage if I used a live model or latex. Shara, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the things we're going to be looking for are going to be the same, whether you're doing this on latex or on a patient. We're going to be looking for symmetry. We're going to be looking for, is it evenly saturated? We're going to be looking at just how overworked is the latex, or how overworked is the tissue on the lip. So a lot of those are going to translate to be the exact same thing, whether it's on latex or on human skin. The kind of, I guess the advantage you would have of doing it on a human is we're able to see that healed and fresh. But other than that, I really don't feel like there's one that's going to weigh in better than the other. Yeah, we're able to tell a lot by latex. Yeah.
I see a couple comments. I see a lot of men with skin cancer for waxing. I'd love to have a resource for them, Liana. Let's chat. So Liana, Julio's there in Chicago and like to chat with you. That may be a good resource for you. I know Julio as at Wax Man, I think. Anyway, you guys should put your information in the chat here. Brenda says it used to be a girly thing, but I have men doing waxing. Hey, Brenda's waxed my legs at the skin game, so I would go to Brenda, and I'm a guy. Hey, you know how it goes. And Terry, I'm sorry to hear about that. Your uncle there. And my stepmother is currently, I think we all sort of know somebody or very closely directly related to somebody or some friend that is going through something in their lives that has to do with cancer and the treatment of skin and cancer and what comes from, chemotherapy and its effects on the skin and things like that, and breast cancer and all the augmentations and surgeries. And this is one category that can speak directly to how life-changing it is to help people with those. So I do appreciate, it says, Kelly says, judges, please drop your socials in the chat. Yes, well, we have 4 more minutes left. I would like all the judges to please drop your socials into the chat. All of you players and fellow judges, please go follow your other fellow judges. If you have questions about PMU, I know all of these ladies have said, Shay, I will directly get back to you. I know Shara is very good about getting back to me on Instagram direct messenger. So send them messages. They're all easy to get a hold of. I think Shara is at Ink Boutique Houston, I believe. So you guys, they're easy to find, easy to talk to. We will transition very quickly here in a couple minutes into lash lift and brow lamination. I want to thank you, Shara and Shay and Liana, for joining us tonight, and we appreciate you. We will see you in Atlanta. I know, Shay, you won't be there in person, right?
In spirit, I will, and I'll be watching online, cheering everything on.
Yes, and we will see Shara and Liana there, and the rest of you I'll see there too. So we are going to transition now. Thank you very much, Shay. Thank you, Shara.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, Boots.
Yeah, bye, Boots. Okay. So thanks for all of your interaction there. That was really cool. I love hearing the backstory. Oh, Shara raised her hand. Shara, do you have a question? Hold on. We'll shoot right back to you.
I was trying to leave a comment and I do not have a question. Sorry.
What? Shara, are you there?
I do not have a question. I was trying to
Oh.
put my handle in the.
Okay, and we're going to talk more
Can you hear
about
me?
pet monkeys really soon. Okay, let's sort of transition now. Do we have our judges here? I don't think so. For who is Chrissy not on? Oh yes, Julio's here. So let's make Julio one of our spotlight. And I think he's the only one here for now. No, I don't, but you can, I did send you her email earlier.
Chrissy, Elsa.
I don't know. Okay. So hi, Julio. Thanks. You've been active the whole time, and we just did a live not too long ago, but I would love for you to introduce yourself to our fellow judges and players this year in lash lift and brow lamination. Let everybody know your background in aesthetics and sort of how you got started in this.
Hi everyone, my name is Julio. I'm here in Chicago at Waxman Spa. We're actually making our 12th year this year in this location, so it's kind of amazing to have come along this far. I will be judging waxing and sugaring, I believe, and then I was asked to also chime in on lash lifts and brow lamination, which we started offering about a year or two ago at my spa. So and so, yeah, I just wanted to chime in with you guys. And, you know, I'm probably not as well versed as some of the ladies that are going to come on. It's a newer service.
No big deal, girl. Come on in.
For men that are adding on now. We're trying to get
It's okay,
them used to it. So, you know, I'm excited to be part of the Skin Games team as judges. And I wish I was tattooing people. I have someone that works for me that wants to do PMU. I know Lisa Pizzello, who's here, has a school, and I thought about taking myself, but I'm just so busy with all the other things I'm doing. It's kind of hard to start a whole nother category, but I would love to have it as part of my business as well, or at least have someone that I can refer them to. So yeah.
Perfect. As far as being a judge this year, Julio, in lash lift and brow lamination, of course, you're doing some waxing and sugaring as well, but tell us a little bit about what led you to finally want to become a judge at the Skin Games. Maybe you've wanted to for a while. I know we've talked at Mecca the last few years, and you're finally joining us. What has inspired you this year to be a judge at the Skin Games, and how are you feeling about the event?
Well, like I said earlier, I want to be a yes man, you know. There's so many opportunities to come up, and sometimes we are, like Liana said, that we're really stressed out. It's hard to find the time to do things, and you know, you have to balance it out with your personal life. But you know, saying yes to more things is my goal this year for 2025, and expanding my horizons some more. So yeah, I talked to Jennifer a few times, and she was like, "Come on!" And some of the trade shows that I've been to, and she's like, "Come and compete," or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, let's just do this, you know? And so it's been a great experience so far, learning more and more about the Skin Games. And I just can't believe I've been missing out for so long. I should have joined a long time ago. So anyone that's out there that's considering doing it or being part of it or judging, I would definitely recommend that you say yes and, you know, become a part of that. And it's a great experience so far. So I still haven't picked out my out of this world outfit that I have to find, a disco ball outfit or something I have to wear out there. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Maybe they have something in plaid, because that's usually what I wear.
I'm trying to figure it out too. I'm not quite sure. I think Taylor's got it figured out. She's looking good. I'm always last minute, so we're on the same page there, Julio. I want to ask you a question about lash and brow lamination. About these treatments. Have you seen that these have gained popularity recently, and what do you think's driving that popularity? We've seen more people in the categories this year than we did last year. That's for sure. I'm wondering what you see in your side of things.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot more people asking about it. Like I said, my clientele is probably 90% male. Or maybe that's a little lower now. We're getting a lot of trans clients in. And I mean, first of all, I go get my lash lift done. You know, my girls here do it for me. I absolutely love it. I tried doing extensions for the first year at Mecca, and it looked great, but I was like I couldn't deal with them all the time. So a lash lift and a tint is right up my alley. You know, like it just, I love how it looks. Especially I think since I have a lot of male clients that are aging, and you know, we're trying to look for ways to kind of make our eyes look a little bit brighter, more open, and you know, it just really accentuates the facial features. It totally gets noticed right away. Like as soon as you go, they're like, "Wow, your lashes look so pretty." And you're like, Oh, thank you. You know, so I think definitely by doing it myself, the clients get to see that. Um, and yeah, we've had more and more guys requesting it. We started doing a little combo package on the website, and let's do the lash lift, let's do the tint, let's do your brows, and just get it all together. And once they start, they really really love it.
How did you get into and build your confidence, Julio, early in your career by doing lash? And I know you're a brow expert. What led you? How did you build that up? Like from going to somebody that didn't know anything about this. Obviously, you've been doing this for a long time now. A lot of people know who you are in this industry, but how did you build that confidence up? How did you build yourself up in the beginning?
I think the biggest thing that I've always focused on is education. It just surprises me when I see people at like some spas and they're just kind of reading like their text all the time, and I'm like, why don't you read that magazine from Skin Inc. or pick up something, read an article that's in there. Yes, continue education. It's definitely it really builds your confidence. And again, joining these competitions, getting yourself out there to the trade shows and networking so that you can meet people and then you have a support network as well. People that can motivate you and, uh, give you some of their expertise, and everyone does it a little differently. So it's good to get around to say, but your education is priceless, I think.
Yeah, and on that same topic, I kind of like this question with the PMU lady. So I'm going to ask you the same thing. If you could go back to early in your career and sort of do one thing differently, or give young Julio a piece of advice in this industry, what would you say and what would you have done differently?
Hmm. Um, I think I would have tried to start even earlier to expand my network. And that's why I mean, like really getting out there and doing these kinds of things. I mean, just tonight I just added like 4 or 5 people to my Instagram. It's like, oh, these are these amazing people out there in this industry, and that's another thing that's so great about the skin games is you get to have these connections and meet people who are really passionate about what they're doing. And I don't feel like I knew that in the beginning because I was a male esthetician. There wasn't a lot of resources for me. And so I'm so happy to see that the industry has grown so much and men are being accepted into this industry more. And that they're getting out there and educating themselves and figuring it out, because everyone wants to feel good and look better. And, like I always tell my team, we can have a war going on and people are still going to come out and want to feel some way better about themselves. And coming to a spa or buying something for themselves is a great way to do that. It's a little price, and it makes a big difference. Because I think that we really care about our clients when they come in. It's like so happy to see you, and they get that touch, and the touch is what really makes people feel better.
Yeah, I'm going to read this comment. Let's see. Brenda says, I've always said I was in a dungeon or cave working hard with my head down and found a community. And I think she's referring to the skin games. And Brenda, we appreciate that and your support. We hear that over and over again with sponsors, judges, players, almost anybody that comes to our event. I personally, I'm sure you can't make everybody happy, and there's people who have left disappointed. I've never talked to them. Every time I do talk to somebody after they leave the skin games or at the event, they always talk about how amazing and positive of an effect it had on their career, the connections that they made. And that's really my favorite thing about the event in general. Since I've started with the skin games, I've seen the way that it changes the trajectory of people's careers, that they come into it sometimes. Sometimes they're not even super motivated. They're doing it as like this last ditch effort to like try something new. And then they find the skin games and they're like, oh my God, I never knew this existed. And now I am like, this is this whole new world of this industry, this whole new portion of this industry where people are cheering each other on, all around positive, all around loving, like super, doesn't matter who you are, we want to support one another. And that's one of the biggest things I love. And being somebody who had no idea how to talk about skin at all 4 years ago, to being somebody who's super passionate about it today and what people do in this industry for others and the reasons why they do what they do has made it so that I just can't get enough of it. And I've always really felt passionately about the way I remember the very first skin games I ever went to. And I had barely, scratched the surface of what it meant to be in this industry. And I was backstage and I saw somebody win makeup artist of the year. And she was crying. And I'm like, kind of thinking like, wow, like, and Frank and I were backstage and we started to cry. And we were like, wow, this woman's life has completely changed because yes, she won a couple $1,000s and that probably didn't, like change her life dramatically. But the fact that she had put in this work and then come that far and then was maybe unsure of herself, but had won these awards where her colleagues and judges from around the world determined she was the best in her class, and and did what she did, was really moving to me. And at that moment I thought, I really want to be a part of this for a long time because it changes the way people feel about themselves and it changes people's lives for the better. So you're never going to make everyone happy. Yes, that's true. Sometimes it's really easy to listen to the 1 out of 100 people who have something bad to say, and then in your mind make that a really big deal and go, oh my God, am I doing things wrong? But for the most part, the Skin Games does a lot of things right. And of course, we make mistakes and we don't do everything perfectly, but we try really hard to adhere to those principles of making sure that people feel loved and accepted, a part of our tribe. And I think that that's one thing that's really admirable about you, Julio, is I can see that in you and so many other of our sponsors and judges as well. I wanted to, Kelly had said here, sorry, I disappeared. My son got stuck in the closet. Been there, been there. What is the biggest challenge you face, Julio, as a male in this industry? What specific thing do you think helped you overcome it?
Honestly, one of the biggest challenges I've had is making sure that people understand what I'm doing is a professional. Of course, as a man, and even in some of the support groups in the past, and when sometimes the guys come in right away, there's that feeling of something sexual is going to happen in the room, or there's this tension and things like that. Or even I can give you an example. I was at a party last year with some friends at a Super Bowl party, and one of the guys that was at the party, my friend's like, "Oh, Julio's an esthetician. He has a spa," and he's like, "Oh, facial, ha ha ha," and I'm like, "Yo, like that was not cool." And I just let him have it right there. I was like, I'm a professional. I've worked so hard. I've been doing this 25 years. And no, it's not none of that. It's really me working hard to show that, this is an industry where we're very passionate. We care a lot about our clients. A lot goes into it. It's blood, sweat, and tears. Even if you don't have your own business, working with somebody, you know what's expected. And separating that and making sure that you really have people who are supportive around you. So yeah, overcoming that has always been a challenge. And even like I said, to this day, there's people who think other things, and you just got to set them straight and be serious and let them know, like, hey, no, this is a professional career. Just there's millions of women out there doing it, and now men are getting into it, and it's just being professional and always caring and giving the best that you can of yourself to these people, and showing them what you're really about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been doing this for a long time now. I'm sure you've seen and heard a lot of different things, but I admire you for like you said, being really professional about it and being like, no, dude, like I'm a professional, I admire that, the ability to set that boundary and just sort of stand up for yourself. That's awesome. And a lot of people here are congratulating you on that. I think I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Mecca because I've seen you there the last couple of years, and Moto does a really good job of highlighting men in the industry. And it's funny about Mecca is there are a number of men in the industry there. Some of them are estheticians that have been in this for a really long time, like the first esthetician in their state that was a male, right? And it's really cool and enlightening to go to that. But a lot of the attendees, right, are women, right? Of course, because this is a female-dominated industry. But you see so much there, and this is in Phoenix, for those of you that aren't aware. But Mecca is really cool in the way that it promotes men in the industry, but at the same time allows everyone there to have a voice and sort of talk about men and their role in the industry. And I've been fortunate enough to speak there, and we'll be speaking there again next year. And hopefully, I think you are too, Julio, right? You're going back.
This past year was a tougher year for me. So I was talking to Moto. I will be there, but I'm going to go just as a participant this year, I think.
Cool.
So I can mingle and get to know people more, because when you're doing when you're actually in it, I'm like, I gotta take a nap. I'm like, I need time to prep for the things I'm doing. And so I said, Skin Games is a really big thing for me this year. I'm going to focus on that at the beginning of my year. And Mecca, I'm definitely going to be there. But you guys get to see the fun, Julio. I'm going to get to go out and hang out and everyone's table and not be like, oh, hi, it's like, so if you're going to be there, we can chit chat and we can network together, and you'll get a lot more of me and my attention. So I hope that that's cool with everybody this year.
Yeah. So you're gonna say yes to having fun this year at Mecca.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll definitely see you there in Phoenix. I want to open the floor up to any potential questions we have on lash lift and brow lamination. I know we don't have all of our judges here, but we can potentially still answer those questions as they pertain to rules or potentially getting involved in these things if you're not already. I know there's also a lot of crossover here in terms of interest at the skin games. We get estheticians that are in our skincare categories that are unsure of if they can even join these categories. And of course, the answer is yes. The live event we have at the live event is where lash lift and brow lamination take place. So this is not a case study. This is something you come in person and you perform live on a model. So you would bring your model to the skin games or find one there. We get a lot of estheticians and students who show up who want to be models for this, and you perform a lash lift or a brow lamination on them depending on what category you're in. So this is still open for registration until March 1st. We are taking lash lift and brow lamination experts to perform live at the event. They both carry a $500 grand prize. So if you win both, you take home $1,000. You get to pay for a good portion of your trip, at least your plane ticket, and there's something to show for it. Plus, you can win an award. And we have more competitors in these categories this year than we've ever had, which is super cool. We want to get up to 20 in these categories, and I think we're somewhere around 15. So if you are interested in joining lash lift and brow lamination, we'd love to see you there. I don't see any questions though. Do we have any? Julio, do you have anything you'd like to add? Anything
I think for the lash lift and the brow lamination, I really would look at technique and what people are doing, because if you don't have a good foundation from where you're starting, and that's from placing the rods and gluing them down and arranging the lashes or brows in a certain way so that they look really full and natural. I've had someone do it to me, and I had lashes this way and one this way, and I was like, whoa. So I'm definitely looking at that outcome, but you can't have this amazing lash or brow outcome without having a good base, right?
Right.
So that's something I'm really going to pay attention to is how are they applying this? There's a few different techniques. There's different types of glue. We use Elibana here in my spa, and they just came out this new product that's like a lash adhesive balm, which is really cool. So I'm excited to see what people use. And, as an instructor in the school, I would see the students get all the Amazon products and from Russia to here or there, and just seeing how they worked for them. So I do have some experience with how it looks on people and how they apply it. And that's something that I really want to look forward to. I want to see some amazing laminations and some brow or some lash lifts on people. It's exciting once it's really done well. It just looks amazing. So, but looking at that foundation for it is really, really important.
Perfect. Thank you, Julio, for joining us tonight. I would definitely encourage you to get in touch with Liana. Sounds like she's right there next to you in Chicago about some PMU. And I will see you in a couple short months in Atlanta, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Sure. All right. Thank you. We will take over the floor once again and remove spotlight. I will go back to Waleska. I don't want to leave, and I'll go back to Kelly recently just asked a question. I want to go back to, let's go back to Julio really. Julio, are you still there? Yes, he is.
I'm here.
Okay. We have a question here, and it's, do you recommend online or in-person training? Which do you think is better? And how many lash/brow laminations do you think someone needs to do to become proficient?
I always, I think that you can go online and watch a video, and it's all great. And I have a lot of employees over the past years that I watch the videos, but I'm like, if you don't get your hands on there and like get some hands-on technique, it's going to take you longer to actually get it down. So I would really recommend someone get some hands-on training in person, so someone can actually direct you and you can know what's the right way and wrong way. It's a lot more detailed, I think. And you know what? I'm also a cosmetologist, and I remember in hair school they were like, you have to do like 1,000 haircuts right before you're like a professional. So I would think you need to do a good amount, like maybe 50 lash lifts, and you really will, because you want to try different products. There's always something new coming out. There's the new lash lockers that they put on top of things. I've seen some new lash rods that have like these little ridges on them. there's like this Instagram post going on, and I'm like, whoa, those look really cool because that's going to help you, direct those lashes a certain way. So, doing in person and then trying different techniques and trying different ways of doing it. But yeah, definitely getting in-person training is the best way to go, that I feel.
Great, thank you. And does the model's lash length count in the overall score? That is a question I am unaware of. I have not looked at the rules for this. Kelly is shaking her head no. So either I don't believe that it does. That is a good question though. Thank you,
Get
Janice.
my little ruler out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're a little short. So thank you again, Julio. We appreciate having you. We're honored to have you as a judge with your expertise and knowledge in this, and we look forward to seeing you in Atlanta. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
I want to hop back. Waleska asked a question earlier in this. Waleska, what? Yeah, and I'm going to pull up Kelly here. I think Waleska, let's see. Waleska said, can I ask a question later in this?
Just ask her.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up Kelly and spotlight Kelly. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure all of you do know, this is Kelly Wolcott. Kelly is our director of judges at the Skin Games and does a terrific job all year long coordinating judges, rules, setting up categories, and just making sure her and her husband, her amazing husband, Seth, is amazing as well, and getting just everything done behind the scenes when it comes to judging and scoring. So welcome, Kelly. Thanks for joining us tonight. I saw a question earlier from Waleska and just wanted to address it here. It says, hi, so my question is about hair restoration photos. The rule says 3 frontal and both sides, but with the hair, I have a frontal and 2 angles of the crown area where the treatment was done. Is that okay?
Yes.
2 thumbs up from Kelly. No words needed. That is okay, Waleska. So
they need to be time stamped.
Yes. Make sure those are time stamped. There are a number of different ways and apps I think that people timestamp things. Is there a preferred timestamp method there, Kelly?
Just the timestamp app. It's in your
App Store, right?
That thing.
One of those.
The one thing that we do need to make sure that the only thing that needs to be on that picture is the date. No time. I don't care if you take it at 5:30 in the morning or 2 a.m. It does not matter. Just the date. Month, day, year. No names, no latitude and longitude, nothing. Please.
Yeah, and the reason we bring up timestamp, guys, is you wouldn't believe how many times people don't follow the rules and lose valuable points at the Skin Games because they did a great case study and they forgot to timestamp, or they did something and they forgot one little thing and they come back to us and they said, I did a great case study, I thought. And then we're like, you did, but you forgot, or Kelly says this, I don't. You did, but you forgot something very small, like in your notes, or, so we always push people to please read the rules. Or if you have a question, reach out to us and say, I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense to me. I need help. We want to help. We want you to maximize the amount of points you receive. We want to maximize the amount of exposure you get. We want to make sure that you turn in something that's really good and to your liking and and that adheres to the rules. So don't forget to timestamp. That's why we bring up these little things, just because we see people every year lose valuable points on not reading the rules completely. And that is a big bummer, right? And I think another one of those things is time of your videos, right? 2 minutes or less. Sometimes I see 3-minute videos and people wonder why I didn't get a great score. Your video was 3 minutes. So it asks very specifically for us to do things, and these are there's a number of reasons for this. So anyway, just want to make sure we are reading rules, we're adhering to rules, and we're following the rules and not wondering afterwards why we didn't follow the rules, why we didn't win. That happens a lot. So Kelly, anything you'd like to add tonight to this panel? I think it's been a really good one, and I want to thank everybody, or any other judge, any other input you have or questions you have before we sign off tonight. We'd appreciate it, and we definitely appreciate having you all here. Even though I love that there are judges and players on here that have nothing to do with these categories and that are joining us, because that means that you are here, open-minded, willing to listen, learning more about the Skin Games, and I love that. So thank you. Janice, I read the rules so many times. I bet you guys do. I see some of you that are like, have so many case studies, and I'm like, it is admirable because
Yes.
I see people like Brenda. I know she's doing a lot of categories, and if you think about it, there's people that are in like 4 or 5, 6 categories. That's 8 videos per category, potentially 8 different clients. So I salute you guys. The work you do is commendable. And those who finish their case, we get a lot of people who start case studies and don't finish them. We have a pretty high percentage rate this year.
We
So
do.
we're really looking good in terms of percentage rate finished. We look at that at the end, and Kelly can speak to that at some other time. But those of you that finish these case studies, we know it's not easy, and it's really, really cool. And it's great. And it's amazing that so many of you are doing such great work. I had 13 videos. It was intense. And Julio
It is
says I
intense.
printed them out. So good on you guys for all of that. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. We had kids getting locked in closets, monkeys, all sorts of things. So this was a really cool live, and it didn't just have to do with skincare. It had to do with people being themselves in real life. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We will be back next Monday. Taylor asked me if I wanted to do this tonight. I said yes. And you know what? I think I might want to do another one. This was fun. So maybe you'll see me at another one of these, and I appreciate all of you being here. We will see you guys next. Oh, one of my videos is longer because my husband talks slow. Because he's Scottish. So he will just have to see. Yeah, well, we can maybe just put a note into the judges that says, please disregard the Scottish accent. That's why the video took 20 seconds longer. That's really funny, Waleska. Anyway, thanks for joining us, you guys. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Wait for you. I don't want to delete it.